You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
Well, given the fact that we're in a crazy week for stocks, and this episode is almost a week old, I thought I would preface this with a little update. Since we recorded this show for Como Radio last week, all kinds of stuff has happened. We slipped into a full-fledged bear market with the S&P 500 down more than 27%. However, on Friday the 13th, was a lucky day for stocks, the market gained back about 10%, so it put it back in non-bear territory again. I don't know exactly what that means, nor do I have any idea what the future is going to bring. And because we don't know what's going to happen, because you need a better perspective about the markets and your investment portfolio, I've decided to host a special online meeting. It's a real interactive meeting live on Saturday, the 20th of March at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific, and you can sign up for this class. There are only 100 seats available. You can sign up for it at talkingrealmoney.com, talkingrealmoney.com. Just click on the event link and join us for, it'll be about a half hour or so, maybe 45 minutes, to try to put things in perspective and help you understand what you need to be doing or need to not be doing at this juncture. So now we'll go back to the podcast.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
The world, it's always changing, isn't it? Just when you get used to something, it gets different. And that's the way life works. That's the way the markets work. And right now we're dealing with stock markets that are all over the place. So interesting last week.
Yes.
So interesting last week to watch all of the gyrations of the market. And there were gyrations. And then to see it end up almost exactly where it started.
I think actually the major indexes were up a bit for last week.
Yeah.
The S&P was up. The Dow was up.
It was a crazy week.
It was. I mean, you had your 1,000-point swings.
Oh, it's dizzying. Dizzying. It was interesting. During the break, I went out to talk to my wife, because I literally do the show from the house. And she said, I bet a lot of people in Seattle aren't out on the roads. And a lot of people listen to AM radio and FM radio. Very few people listen to them in the house. She goes, nobody has radios in their houses anymore.
They don't. I mean, most of the listening is done in automobiles. But
then I said, Debbie, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to go mention the smart speaker thing so that people can listen when they're staying home.
Yeah, or your computer. There's all kinds of ways to do it now.
Well, but with the smart speakers, it's so easy. I walked in and I said, hey, Siri, play Como Radio.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now she's going to start playing. You're going to get
playing Como.
You're going to get feedback there.
Last week.
Yeah.
Hello?
So
yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
And she did it, she said it, she said play KOMO.
Yeah.
And it said playing Como Radio, and she went, oh my gosh, right. I didn't even know I could do this.
Exactly. So you don't need to be in your car. You could be almost anywhere listening to whatever radio today.
Go, Google or Alexa or whomever. Are there any others? I think those are the only ones.
Yeah, I think that's really good news. That's good news. The bad news, by the way, out of all of what's happened lately is I can almost guarantee you people are going to be looking for guaranteed type of products, guaranteed financial stuff. And last year, 2019, a banner year for stocks by any estimation. I mean, the stock markets made a lot of money. And guess what else sold like literal hotcakes in 2019?
Oh,
don't say hand sanitizer either.
Please,
or toilet paper. Come on,
toilet paper.
No,
and bottled water.
No,
no. It's probably Is it indexed annuities?
It is.
I hate those
sales of those products up 55% from the previous year. Now some of that has to do with the fact that if you can think way back to the final quarter of 2018, remember that way back, and it was the markets went down a lot. It was a very tough quarter.
Oh, yeah, it was a bad time.
And that meant stocks lost money in 2018. So people said, well, I don't want to do that again. That was really a bad idea. I'd rather be in something that only goes up, never goes down, and I never lose any money. and I get a part of the stock market increase, right? Wrong.
Right. Wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, wrong.
Yeah.
I meant wrong.
Annuity sales overall, $250 billion with a B dollars last year. That's kind of shocking. A lot of it, again, due to these index annuities. And tell us why. Remind us why, please. Please.
Do you have a while?
Yeah, we do. But
do you have a while?
But call and interrupt us.
Oh,
did you give the number, by the way?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna go there, but I didn't.
That's the one job you have.
I know I messed it up again. 855-935-TALK. 855-935-8255. It's
Brian
free. It's easy.
He's sitting out there doing nothing except infecting the rest of the staff or something. So make him answer the phone,
so he can be a real fiduciary CFP.
Yeah.
855-935-TALK. First, I just doing some research on some investment firms the other day for I don't know what reason. But
you're stuck in your little room. You got to do something.
I ran into this firm, and I don't remember where they were located, but they manage money, but they also help fiduciary, and I'm using my air quotes on the radio.
Very helpful, by the way, for me, but nobody else.
They're on either side of my mic.
Yeah,
fiduciary.
They are. I can attest to that.
They help fiduciary advisors sell indexed annuities.
Help is the operative word there, yeah.
They have lawyers on staff that will create for them a best interest letter.
Yeah, which is coming
to show how it is in the client's best interest to own one of these.
Do they have lawyers on the staff that are writing these letters so they can sell you the product?
Got it. You got it. The insurance industry.
How do we get one of those? No, we got enough lawyers on the staff. Let's not get any more. What do you say?
This is a letter written to the SEC. This is a letter written to the SEC by National Western Life opposing the efforts to years ago to impose a rule. This was before. At the time, the Securities and Exchange Commission was looking to regulate indexed annuities on a national level as an investment. And the insurance industry fought them tooth and nail. They wanted them to be regulated at a state level so that they could pay off the state boards. And we have a story on that coming up too. I forgot about that. But I want to read you one of their comments from this letter to the SEC about their product. And then we're going to take your calls at 855-935-TALK. So don't go away.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Do you know what your investment risk tolerance is? Take our free no-obligation risk quiz at TalkingRealMoney.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
This is the National Public Radio version of Talking Real Money.
Or as we like to call it.
Where we talk slowly.
Yes. Not that slowly. As we like to say, Talking Real Money. Hosted by two not quite dead yet guys. Close, but not quite.
Here's this letter that was written by National Western Insurance back in the we're on index annuities. Anyway.
Yeah.
They basically say that we, the commentators who speak about these things
I'm not a potato head. Don't call me a commentator. Come on.
We either do not understand or refuse to acknowledge that indexed annuities do not pass through financial market performance, and they fail to consider the substantial guarantees provided by fixed index annuity writers under the contracts. And they go on talking about how people are risk averse. Well, then why create here's what's wrong with indexed annuities. They're
Among
a convoluted, confusing product that they state they're created just to provide people with safety. Well, if you want to provide people with safety, just give them a fixed annuity.
Which you can go buy. Now the interest rates are going to be, they're already low. They're going to be getting lower now that the 10-year Treasury is 80 basis points. But
a fixed indexed annuity's average annual returns, they run between 3 and 4% a year.
Yeah.
But why does the industry love these things? Why do they love them with such a white-hot passion?
I think they make a lot of money on them.
The commissions can be as high as 10% of the principal you put in.
Does that sound like a good payout? So if you go give somebody $100,000 and they get $10,000, they're pretty incentivized to do that, right?
I think it's your money, not theirs.
Shockingly.
I could be wrong. Or they think it's theirs. 855-935-TALK is our number, 855-935-8255. I hate indexed annuities. I hate them. Do not buy them. Karen, you're up. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi, Karen.
Hello.
What's up?
I would like to know, I'm over 80 years old. I know nothing about financial anything. I am in a senior care community. I own a condo, and I would like to know at what point I should sell it. It's rented out now. I have a management company that is handling that for me. I want to know at what point do I sell my condo, and then what do I do with the money from the condo?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is a condo you're not going to move back to, I'm assuming.
You assume correctly.
Okay. And any money that you got from the sale of this is money you need to pay the bills, or is this money that would be part of your estate? Tell me more about that.
It would be part of my estate. I am low income, but I can manage very well without the monies from this.
Yeah, I mean, but setting that aside just for a moment, in fact, I just read a piece in the Seattle Times last night about how great condo sales are right now. Makes me want to sell my condo.
Take advantage of it.
I wish I could sell my condo. Anyway, because I don't like owning it. But here's the problem you're going to face. Now, I don't know, is this the only piece of residential real estate you've owned over a long period of time?
I've had it 20 years. Okay. Yes.
So, because I'm just checking on the taxation of that sale. So the difference
She's
between...
going to be fine.
Okay, so you're not going to pay a big capital gains tax. That's what I was worried about.
Have you been renting it for a while?
I've been renting it for 4 years.
Yeah, now we're getting into the rules here. In other words, if you just had a piece of property that you bought at some time and then you sold it many years later, the difference between what you bought it for and sold it for, the government is going to want you to pay taxes on it. I'm not sure in this instance if that applies.
She's going to pay taxes.
So that's the problem, Karen. In other words, you're going to be giving a lot to the government, and if it's money you don't need, if it should just be part of your estate, then I would say just hold on to it, keep it in your estate. You have somebody that's managing it for you, and leave it that way. You see what I'm saying? In other words, you'd be signing up to pay taxes you would not have to pay otherwise.
So then my estate, whoever I donate this to, blah, 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 they would not have to pay taxes?
That's correct.
No, they'd get a stepped-up cost basis.
Yeah, in other words, the value of the condominium, and we're not being morbid here, but would be at the value of the day of your death. And they would get that basis for, so if they sold it sometime afterwards, the difference between what it was valued at the time of your death and the time they sold it, then they would have to pay tax on that difference. But otherwise, no tax.
Yeah, the
rule is... So I should advise my kids to sell it right away as soon as I go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Unless one of them needs it to live in. That's the only reason.
That's marvelous, because I'm not a business person and I didn't know what to do with it. And I really appreciate your telling me that I don't have to do anything yet.
And just for everybody else who's listening, you have to have lived in your residence for 2 out of the past 5 years.
Okay, there you go.
For it to qualify for the capital gains deduction, exclusion, actually it's called.
So you wouldn't be able to do that?
Right.
Nope, I've been out of it 4 years.
There you go. So, yeah, I'd just keep it. I would make it part of my estate. However you're going to give away the money as in your estate, they would deal with it. And the taxation, if they sold it relatively quickly, would be very minimal or zero, right?
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It's our pleasure. You sound great. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, please do take care of yourself.
All right. Thanks, Karen.
Bye-bye. 855-935-TALK. That's our number.
There was this piece. I watched a movie with my daughter last night, and then I watched one episode of Better Call Saul with my wife and a friend. But anyway, then I went to read the paper. I know I'm in a rut. I get it. I am. But I was reading the paper.
No, I watched Better Call Saul yesterday.
I'm only through two episodes so far. But
I just finished the third.
Yeah, literally, this article pops up about the condo. You know, I don't want to own the condo anyway for a variety of reasons. Right. But I'm reading this and it's talking about how much the prices have gone up, how fast the sales are, and how one of the sales was literally 2 blocks from the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, which is basically the same place that our condo is. It is literally 2 blocks away, right there.
My advice to you:
sell it.
Sell it. Because let me tell you, condominiums have proven to be generally nationwide terrible investments.
Yeah.
Tell you an anecdotal case. The town I live in Florida, in 2006, 2007 was a hotbed of speculation, like Vegas and Miami.
Yep.
It was crazy. Condominiums, new ones were being built, and they were being sold for $380 a square foot.
Wow.
Wow is
How
right.
far down did they go?
People were lining up to buy them. Now you can buy the same condominium.
Yeah.
It is now 12 years later, 13, 14 years later.
Yeah, it is.
For $200 a square foot.
Does that sound like good appreciation? And here's the other part. The pleasure of owning it all that time. You get all those assessments. You get the fee, whole thing. Not me. But anyway.
Well, we have, in fact, some of the condos in town were built so badly during that crush to build that they are being faced with special assessments.
Yeah.
That have on a $150,000-$200,000 condo.
How much?
Of $80,000.
Oh, doesn't that sound nice? Yeah. Jump me into one of those. But anyway, if you're in the Seattle area and you're thinking of selling your condo, great time to do it. The sales have been up
today.
The appreciation. I'll run by on the way home and take care of that right away.
Just throw a for sale sign out.
Whatever.
It'll probably go like that.
And then I'll be living alone. I know it doesn't sound good either. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's your wife's condo.
Bingo.
855-935-TALK. Give us a call.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Download the advisor interview form and find out if your advisor's a fiduciary at TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
That's just a tickle,
people.
by the way,
We
in
are
my
just
throat. That's
bad
just a
people.
tickle.
Yeah, is that a real cough?
That's a tickle. That's it.
All right.
Nothing else.
Right.
Stacy's running. She's running out. Everybody running out.
Somebody
of the building.
check the man's temperature.
Exactly. Let's not.
855-935-TALK is our phone number. 855-935-8255.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, just like the mooch said.
Oh yeah.
The
I know. I
Scaramucci
saw
said
that.
the coronavirus is Donald Trump's Hurricane Katrina. We have Talking Real Money's own Katrina.
The winds
Hi,
are
Katrina.
changing direction.
Welcome
Hello,
to
Katrina.
the show.
How are you?
Good.
All these things you've never heard before. We're so original, but how can we help you?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I ran for class president back in 2008, and my slogan was taking Riverside by storm.
Oh, I like that. That was good. Turn it into a positive. That's great. By storm. That's good. The winds
I like
of
her a lot.
change. Vote for Katrina. Something like that, you know.
She's funnier than you.
Well, that's not hard to do, but okay. How can we help you?
So I graduated from college with a degree that I'm not using right now, and a lot of people my age, I'm 30, are working in jobs that aren't traditional full-time with benefits, with retirement or 401k or pensions. I don't have any of that. So I need to probably buy into one, right? But I'm like, where do I go? Do I do
that's great.
Swap, or do I do the Gerber Fund? I have a little baby. He's now 10 months.
Oh.
So how do I manage?
All right, let's go with the
basics.
Let's go with the basics. Are you employed in any way? So you have income. You have income.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it exceeding $140,000 a year? I don't know. I'm asking. No. Okay. So it's less than that.
She basically said she was kind of doing gig work.
Well, but
something.
She might be doing gig work. I don't
Maybe
know
one of the really good gig economy
you never
people.
know. You never know. So
I work in a restaurant.
Okay, so it's not you're not making that kind of money. Okay. So, I mean, here's where I would start. I mean, I think this is easy. I would open a Roth IRA for you.
Okay.
The maximum I believe you can put in that now, Don, I always forget they change the rule. They change the amount every year.
50,
so we're going to look it up. But here, make this very simple. I would go to Vanguard.com. Vanguard, great fund family. I would open a Roth IRA for myself. And I would, Don's going to give you the maximum amount. You could do
$6,000.
You could do a contribution now. Remember, it's only 30. What is it?
$6,000.
What's the catch up then? Another $7,000? Another one?
$7,000.
Okay, so you can put in up to $6,000. And I believe and it sounds like you're driving, so don't try to write this down. But I would put it all in the VT Wax. V is in Victory, T is in Tom. Wax. One mutual fund holds 8,800 globally diversified securities at a very, very, very low cost. Put in the 6 if you can. If you can't, put in less. and that would be the place to start.
Okay. And then for like the little baby's college fund, should I do like Gerber Fund or what should I do that?
No.
No, you go to my529.com. My529.com. And it's the Utah 529, and set up an age-based 529, and you can contribute as little as you can, as little or as much as you want. Well, not as much. There's a limit, but that would be the best place to start. Those Gerber baby funds pay like 1/1000th of 1%, and it's a life insurance policy.
Don't do it. Yeah, and they're not good news.
Just, why would you buy life insurance on your baby? It's just dumb as dumb.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
And then, I mean, really, if you do that Roth for a lot of years, when you get to retirement,
you'll be rich.
The money will just come flooding in.
Yep.
That's my other
So
bad
it's a
Katrina joke, but
one-time,
okay.
like,
Yeah.
$6,000 payment and just seal it up and let it grow for 20 years.
There are 30.
Until it bursts the levees.
That was his bad joke, not mine, for a change. So, yeah, no, that would be the place to start. Vanguard, and go to the Utah 529, and away you go. Thank you for your call.
By the way, year to date, you're buying those stocks in the Vanguard Total World Stock Index at a almost 10% discount for the
do you
year.
like buying things on sale? Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Don. Thank you.
We all like buying things on sale.
Except
10%
stocks.
off.
I only want to buy those after
For
they go up.
time only.
Exactly.
Vanguard Total World Stock Index on sale for almost 10% off. You don't get those kind of deals every day. 855-935-TALK.
Are talking real money.
It may not be the sexiest website in the world, but it's your one-stop shop for real money information. TalkingRealMoney.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
There is a phone number that you need to remember, and it's a good number all the time. It's not just on Saturdays when we do the live show at Como Radio in Seattle. It's good anytime to ask questions either on the show or on the podcast. 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255, because this is the one place where you're going to get a no BS, honest answer, untainted by sales pitches.
The unvarnished truth. I might do some varnishing soon, but not
except
that.
it's sanded. It's sanded so you don't get splinters.
That's true, but
we don't want you to get splinters.
Speaking of killjoys, speaking of people that, I mean, wow, really?
Oh, you must be talking about me again.
Well, there's you, and then there's Paul Merriman. You guys are two of the greatest killjoys I know. I mean, here's Paul writing in Market Watch.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying, are you planning a $40,000 wedding? Yeah, because that's basically what they cost these days anyway.
And that's the cheap ones.
Paul says, well, no. And by the way, just for complete transparency, I have a conflict of interest. I want you to spend $40,000 on a wedding because my wife does a lot of weddings as a caterer. So,
wait, that's just selfish.
Well, no, that's transparency.
You're apparently not a fiduciary when it comes
to the weddings. So Paul Merriman is saying, if you're going to have a $40,000 wedding, how about a $1,000 wedding and $39,000 into a Roth IRA? Now, of course, you can't put it all in a Roth IRA right away, right?
Okay,
you have
over
to do
a few
over time.
years.
Yeah. He says,
right.
If
like
you do
this
that,
idea. Paul, I'm liking this idea.
Yeah, you guys, a lot of fun. He says if you put it in Vanguard Target Date Fund, which I don't know that I do, but that's close enough. After 40 years, this young lady who did this at 25 instead of the big wedding would have, you still get the $1,000 for the wedding. I don't know what that buys you today.
$1,000. Well,
not much, but as we know, dealing with hotels.
Doesn't even buy you a dress.
Barely a couple of cups of coffee. But at 65, $1.77 million with an M dollars.
Really?
So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so should you, instead of having the big wedding, and really $40,000 is not a big wedding. It's a wedding. By the time you get a place, you get a food, you throw
it's a wedding.
It's not big. I'm telling you right now.
You can't afford Pompeii wood-fired pizza.
That's for sure. And by the way, thank you for that free plug, shameless plug. By the way, he points out, that once you get to retirement at 65, and if you continue to earn 7% and take out 4%, the cumulative withdrawals for this young person, I shouldn't have said woman, young person, $3.2 million. There's your $39,000 to $3.2 million in your pocket over time. That's pretty significant.
By the way, if you're I don't mean to sound sexist. I'm just realistic. The vast majority of expensive weddings are expensive because of the bride.
I'm going to let you say that.
You know it's true.
I'm going to let you say it.
I would have eloped. I would have eloped in a heartbeat. It was my wife who wanted the Disney wedding. So
let me add to that, by the way. If you're having a $1,000 wedding,
you're not going to have it at Disney.
Well, don't call me. You're not going to Disney, and you're not having Pompeii wood-fired pizza, either one. And don't call me either. Please.
Wait. You could probably
what am I going to do at a $1,000 wedding? I have to bring my own bourbon or something. Come on. No.
Well, what if it's
not
just like
happen.
you and the family? What if it's you and the family?
Yeah, I mean, even 1,000 there. I mean, we just took everybody out for a drink after a retirement. That was $600 for about 10 minutes.
Well, but that was a lot of people.
No, it was like 15 people.
That was the whole staff.
Yeah, it was like 15 people. And for like an hour and a half.
At Earl's?
For $600. I was shocked when they told me $600.
Can we disclose how much Amanda Knox's wedding was?
I don't think we know. We can't even talk about it.
We can't?
Nope. You just did something. You can't do that. I'm sorry. Can we go back and ask Stacy if we can hit rewind here or something like that?
Wasn't it in a magazine?
It was online. I know that. I don't know if it was in a magazine or not.
It was a magazine online.
Well, you can't talk about it. So there you go.
It's in the news. I don't have.
I did have somebody at Retire Meet did say Amanda Knox had Italian food at her wedding. What? They thought that was kind of. I didn't say that. They said that. I thought that was a great line. That's kind of funny when you think about it. So, but. She missed the cooking in the old cafeteria there or something. So anyway,
is that what they serve? They serve like wood-fired pizza.
A lot of wood-fired pizza. You like a little bit of this on it, a little bit of that. You got the red sauce.
I'm thinking a rest in Italy's looking better all the time.
Let's not wish that. That was 4 years. I don't think that was a great 4 years for her life nor anyone else's.
If there was Pompeii wood-fired pizza there,
we'd be sitting around cracking wise, having good wines.
And I don't even get free pizzas for that.
Well, yeah,
My wife said, get Tom and Dee Dee to ship some free pizzas to Florida.
Exactly.
855-935-TALK is our number. Give us a call.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Just about everything you need to know about money can be found at our website, TalkingRealMoney.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
The debate continues. How much does your $1,000 buy you for a party today? Not much, I'm going to say, but Don feels otherwise.
Seattle.
Yeah.
But if you go to the Elks Lodge, it's...
Oh, you're still on this. Look, I can't stop you. We're talking, by the way.
I'm reading it online.
All right, our number, 855-935-8255.
Oh, it's not Elks Lodge, it's Elks Log.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about the Amanda Knox wedding that was a week ago Saturday.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
Don is talking about it. I'm not talking about it. I know nothing about it. So.
Can we make the show go a little longer today? Because I don't want to go put my suit on and go to the Salvation Army fundraiser after this.
The Angels have Fallen, or whatever it is, or the Fallen Angels,
it's a 100th anniversary of the Salvation Army.
I think that's nice. I could write a note and tell them that you really are a fallen angel. They might stop you at the door.
You know how much I love putting a suit and tie on.
Oh yeah, you're really good at that. You almost had a nice pair of slacks on for Retire Meet, so congratulations there.
I did. I tried. 855-935-TALK. Remember, you can call that number anytime, 24/7. Ask questions. We'll answer them on the podcast if we don't do them on the show. And Scott, you're up next. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hi, Scott.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing great. How can we help you?
Hey, I just wanted to add something. I heard the missus call in about the selling the condo or hanging on to it, and I wanted to point out an added benefit to hanging on to it. I just went through this with my father's property, and all of the sales expenses after his passing, after the cost basis was reset, are considered a loss on your Form K-1. So if there are other assets like inherited IRAs that you take money out that you would normally have to pay tax on, that loss does help offset those taxes.
Well, now I'm going to question you a little bit on the inherited IRA part. I don't know that would offset that.
No, it would offset income that you took from that if you took it in the year that you got the K-1.
I see,
Right,
because you'd have
so
the K. Okay, I guess on your tax, you still have to take that out and pay tax on that no matter what. That's
you
the case.
have to take it, but you'd have to take, because you still have with an IRA, you have a 10-year period over which you can wait. But if you take some the first year, you could offset that with
that's
those
true.
expenses.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we did.
Yeah,
and
I see that.
We took a little more than the required
distribution,
minimum distribution.
Yeah, right.
So when it came to everything said and done, my income taxes for the year didn't change.
I got it now. I understand what you're saying.
That was actually that was a smart move to do a little tax planning and say, okay, I'm going to take more than the required minimum distribution to take advantage of this law so that I'm at a net wash, so your distributions in the future can be a little smaller.
Thank you, Scott. Good idea, good suggestion, good advice there. I mean, that's interesting notion. Again, I want to make clear, you got to take the money out of the individual retirement account, no question. Now, if the tax on that is offset by, as you said, by your K1 or something else, that's okay. But you still got to take that out and pay whatever tax would be due on that IRA. Inherited.
Correct, but
IRA.
but that can be offset. So that's the thing, and that's what is really important to bear in mind. There was something I wanted to add.
You're distracted. I can tell. You're all worked up about the Salvation Army or the.
No. I was earlier in the show. I was talking about we got distracted by a call. We were talking about the insurance industry and how insurance companies want to be regulated by the states.
Yeah.
For some strange reason, they prefer to be regulated by the state than by the federal government.
And why would that be?
Interesting example. There was a big insurance guy by the name of Greg Lindbergh. And he had a big insurance company, and he bribed an insurance commissioner.
Where is this?
To get favorable treatment, I believe. That's why I was trying to find the
Lindy?
article. Lucky Lindy. It was in...
Wow.
For some reason, I'm thinking North Carolina.
You don't hear that often. I mean,
but
you do hear
the
states just this isn't their area of specialty, right?
Well,
Mike Kreidler may do a great job when it comes to health insurance. I doubt he's that well versed on equity index annuities. I'm just saying, I doubt it.
Yeah, but
Mike Kreidler is the insurance commissioner in the state of Washington.
I have the article here on my iPad, so I'm going to.
Well, see, this is radio, hold. And you just having it on your iPad, it doesn't work because we can't see it.
No, I'm going to show it to people.
How are you going to do that?
I'm going to tell people about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to show it to them. It's radio.
I just said that, I believe. Yeah.
I get that. I've been on this a couple of days.
You're the longest-running disc
North
jockey.
Carolina. Get this. He
North Carolina
promised $2 million for favorable regulatory treatment.
Wow.
And now the dude's going to go spend up to 20 years in jail for this, thank goodness. But what this says is that there's a financial incentive among folks in these positions, because an insurance commissioner doesn't get paid very much. It's not a glamorous job.
No.
And they go into it, in many cases, they either go into it from the insurance industry in retirement, or they go into it expecting to go into the insurance industry when they stop being an insurance commissioner. So it's an incestuous business. And that's why I would prefer that insurance investment products, at the very least.
Well, no, you can't even call them investment products because they're not investments.
Well, insurance products that have an investment component.
Yeah,
that's
they're
good.
not regulated as investments per se.
Well, that's what I want them regulated as investments.
And the people that offer them are not they're not investment advisors that are regulated by the government either.
And that's what they don't want. And this is very, very similar to what recently happened with the Secure Act, where the U.S. Congress succumbed to the wishes of the insurance industry.
Now, I do believe money had something to do with that.
Tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, that they were
in lobbying.
Yeah, right.
that was done to
you're talking about
Congress.
the fact that now the plan sponsors off the hook if they offer an annuity product, whereas before their fiduciary responsibility to the participants did not basically allow that. Now they're going to be okay.
Who benefits from having annuity products in 401ks?
The employees, of course. In a big way.
Right, that's what the insurance firms would like you to believe.
You're going to get a big guarantee. At 30 years old, you should be signing up for that annuity. You might need that in 35 years. Absolutely.
You might make 2.5%-3% a year.
Yeah, but it's guaranteed. It's going to be there.
And that's the other thing I don't like about
You don't have to be at the whim of the Wall Street marketing machine. You're all set.
As an individual company, we can't say we guarantee anything. Yet insurance companies, because they've got this insurance, and that's all it is, they can say that our investments are guaranteed, but they're guaranteed by an insurance pool.
But insurance companies have never had any trouble, have they?
Only several.
Oh, what AIG was that? That was
AIG.
Oh, that was
Executive
insurance
Life,
that's
totally
right, yeah.
bankrupt. Totally bankrupt.
Right. AIG, didn't you own part of them for a while?
I never owned AIG.
Yeah, you did. I think you're an American taxpayer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We did own AIG.
Just
I don't know why we
it
gave it
there.
back. We should just have kept it.
Exactly.
855-935-TALK. Call that number 24/7. We'll answer your questions.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom and I believe in helping everybody become a better investor. That's why we offer lots of free knowledge at TalkingRealMoney.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
And if you want to learn more, if you want to listen to our many, over 300 podcasts, if you want to watch our videos, if you want to take a risk quiz, all kinds of stuff is available to you at TalkingRealMoney.com. That's TalkingRealMoney.com, including the opportunity to meet with an advisor. There's just hit the button that says meet, and you can meet with one for free, no obligation, no sales pitch. TalkingRealMoney.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. That's a wrap.